You are listening to The Black Landscape with Andrea Spearman, where Black excellence is always trending. Welcome back, everyone. This is your host, Andrea Spearman. We are in season 2 of The Black Landscape. Today we have with us a woman who wears many hats, Shanice Whittaker. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So we are so excited to have you with us. Please tell the audience briefly about your background growing up here in the Bay Area.
Yeah, so basically I grew up in Walnut Creek, the suburbs, and I transitioned a little bit after high school, going into college and trying to get away from the Bay Area. So I went down to SoCal, where I went to UC Riverside and received my bachelor's in psychology, law, and society. Yes, I am all the things double majoring in that. But as life would have it, I missed the Bay Area. I missed being around my family. So I decided to move back and, financially and all that, to try and find a job back here in the Bay. So I started working in human resources, and that pretty much transformed my life. I think we'll get into that in a minute. But that's where I ended up going ahead and getting my master's, or my MBA, I should say, with a concentration in human resources management. And I've stayed in the Bay ever since. So now I am a new homeowner, and it's been a year and some change of great transitioning.
Fantastic. So see, sometimes you got to get away to miss home.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So you say when you came back, you kind of transitioned to human resources. What was the catalyst for that? Because you said you have your degree, in such a different area, but it sounds like the two, connect in a way.
Yeah. So when I was getting my undergrad degree, I wanted to be a high school counselor.
Oh,
and I was able to,
bless your heart.
Kids. Very much. And that's what I had to learn. Bless my heart. I was able to do a little stint in shadowing a high school counselor. So I learned my, lessons and boundaries for myself in doing that internship, and that maybe that was not my calling. So yeah, once I realized that high school counseling was not the path for me, I ended up just being in this space of like uncertainty. Where's my next phase of life going after college? And then I randomly ended up at a staffing agency where I was their administrative assistant. And so I got to see the ins and outs of like recruiting and hiring. And then, as luck would have it, a human resources position opened up at that same location, and the opportunity to get training. So I started doing that, started loving HR law and regulations, and just learning the ins and outs of what it really means to manage a business and hire folks. I got to see the recruitment side too, but didn't fall in love with that. It was really the administrative and labor regulation side of it that really caught my attention. Law and society, I guess, came into play. So I just went with that. and they were paying me, so can't really be upset with that.
I think that people give HR a bad rap sometimes. Like, it goes beyond just listening to employees complain, right? Like, as you said, like, there's a full breadth to what it means to be an HR professional.
And as I've grown in the profession, I've gotten to lean back on my, not just gifts, but passion, and being able to unofficially counsel folks around some of the challenges that they might be experiencing, whether it's coaching them around management or just how to be who they are in the workplace, right? And being able to offer those skills and trainings in that regard. So just making the workplace better is my goal as an HR professional today.
It's amazing the things that you find out about yourself as you're on the journey, as you're on the road,
Mm,
because you started off very much in one place, you know, experienced it, then did some training and was like, "Ooh, maybe not. Perhaps not. Maybe the Lord didn't really call me to that ministry." And just, I think, and what you just said is you kept yourself open to opportunities, is
yeah.
what I heard when you said that, really finding out what truly speaks to you.
Mm, yeah, absolutely. I think that's key in anyone's transition or transformation of them trying to find where they truly want to be in life. That but it's key to be able to just stay open to what life has to offer and not silo or box yourself into certain situations or how perceptions of yourself or how other people perceive you. Like for me, I just going through college and then graduating, I had to really explore what were those things that were pressed upon me versus those things that I actually wanted for myself or can see myself growing into.
Some
And
come
I
on.
think but and I think as you go through different stages, no matter how old you are, as we all, transition and blossom in our own way, you have to always reflect back on that and saying, okay, is this something someone told me to do, or is this something that I deeply in my heart know I am purposed to do? So yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yes. And do you think that as a Black woman
Mm.
moving in this space, how has that been for you? And like seeing other folks who are Black, people of color kind of move in this space. What's that experience like?
Ooh, I don't think we have enough time for that. No, I call it a beautiful disaster, um, because because and I will explain. As a Black woman, I know there are going to be opportunities that might be limited to me that I want to surpass. So it's beautiful in that, yes, there's all these opportunities out there just for me. And then it becomes a disaster that once you step into those opportunities, how limited or constricted it can become. So, for instance, like I do work in predominantly white organizations. I have basically throughout my professional career. So, being able to navigate those spaces and remember that I'm a Black woman first has always been just this ebb and flow of all the emotions in trying to balance who I am versus who I know they want me to be. And then when I see others like me, whether Black women or women of color, I also see those same, I don't want to call them challenges or difficulties, but same struggles in being able to represent themselves fully while also understanding the limitations of the space. And that's where I feel I want to just dismantle, such a strong word, right? That's the things that I want to kind of push into or expand those limits to be able to allow us as Black women, women of color, to represent more of ourselves in those spaces.
Yes, ma'am. We have to push against the boundaries so that we can be our full selves everywhere.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And sometimes it's hard, right? It's hard to be that person that pushes because it's always, the Black woman has to speak up or the Black woman's rebelling again, and those type
Mm-hmm.
of stereotypes. And also, it's hard just internally to understand when it's time to push and when it's time to just let it be. And I
Mm-hmm.
think being able to figure out that balance is very powerful too. I mean, there's some places where you're just not going to be able to push, and that's okay. That place isn't for you. But the places where you can push and it's healthy for you to be able to push, do
Mhm.
it.
Yes, ma'am. And so we're going to pivot just slightly. I know that you were part of the Divine Nine. Talk talk to us about it. Has that influenced your professional career at all?
Yes, yes, yes. I am part of the Divine Nine Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated, woot woot, by way of Zyro chapter at UC Riverside, and currently a member of Beta Theta Sigma sorority, Beta Theta Sigma chapter. Sorry, here in the Bay Area, and it has been. And it's funny because folks are like, "Oh, you just joined a sorority for sisterhood." I have a sister, and I have many sisters by association. But having a sister by bond, by like mindedness, by goal orientedness, just made up a word
Mm-hmm.
there, but also just by um, social ability has been truly, truly rewarding with my sorority. Being able to go anywhere and have a place to stay, it's always great on the low low. But also being able to tap in place at times where I might be unsure about what my next move is going to be professionally, or if I'm just struggling in my current profession and finding someone who's actually in that same profession and we have an association.
Mm-hmm.
There's more of that desire or understanding and connectedness that way too.
Thank you so much for sharing, Shanice, about a little bit about, Divine Nine, our heritage, and how that has helped you in becoming a force within the professional world, and the connectivity of the sisterhoods and brotherhoods of that operations and organizations. So we're going to take a short break to hear from our sponsor. To catch up on previous episodes of The Black Landscape, stream on Apple and Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Anchor.fm, and Spotify. Hey fam, if you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me tell you about it. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. And Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard across Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast, just in one place. Now download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. We are back with Shanice Whittaker. Shanice, talk to us about Soul Movement. What is it? How did it get started?
Yeah, so Soul Movement is my platform that I started back in 2016, where I wanted to share my gift of praise dance. And so I became a praise dance instructor for different programs and ministries to be able to share all the technique and the understanding and the value of that within everyone's spiritual walk with God. Um, as you know, the Lord has it. You start something with Him, and He makes it grow. It's become a company. So I am now the CEO as of last year to Soul Movement
Amen.
LLC. Yes,
Amen. Amen.
amen. It's been a wonderful blessing, though. Wonderful journey, wonderful blessing. It's what I prayed for. And it's really growing and blossoming into this community service platform that offers physical, mental, and spiritual work that fosters wellness overall for the individual, but also gives services that are specifically catered to skill building, life coaching, and dance, because the foundation of it all is dance so that we can just live our fun and fulfilled lives.
Yes, ma'am. And so talk to us a little bit more about some of the programming. Like, what does it mean for the holistic wellness portion?
Yes. So currently I am building out the first pillar, coaching. Again, as life would have it, we had the pandemic in 2020 when I officially was launching and going full force into Soul Movement. So although I was able to register the company, I wasn't able to roll out some of the instructional portions the way that I would like. But honestly, that was just God saying, you know what, it's time for a shift. There's a new thing that I need to do with you in the work that you have going. So the first pillar is around life coaching. And it's really about just tapping into the spirit of the individual who's looking to transform their life or their existence from one place to another. So whether that be going from a professional career to just going into working for yourself or entrepreneurship, um, being able to push through different traumas or experiences to be able to live the life that you see or that is ideal for yourself. And then all the fun in between stages that we all deal with life, just to help the individual get to a place that they feel more fulfilled, more in control, and just living a life that is exciting for them to wake up to. That is the first pillar. So there's coaching, and then I hope to roll out in the future my original instruction classes around praise dance instruction. I got licensed in 2021 as a uh, as a cardio kickboxing instructor with a
Watch out
little
now.
dance twist, right? So a little bit of choreo, a little bit of cardio mixed together. So I hope to be able to roll all of those in-person instructions out. And then the last pillar, so that was coaching, dance instruction, and the last pillar is wellness. So being able to partner with organizations, and this is further down the line, but being able to partner with
We're speaking the
organizations,
future into existence, sis.
present, past, future is really what Soul Movement is about, and
Yes.
bringing that together. But yeah, in the future, being able to work with organizations to bring some of that health and wellness services to the Black community. Just again with 2020, I personally experienced a lot of mental and physical health issues, as well as seeing my peers within the Black community experiencing the same, and how there was lack of accessibility and affordability for the services that we needed. So I really want to push Soul Movement into that space later on down the line, to partner with organizations to bring that home, because it's needed. So
Yes, ma'am.
recap, coaching now. So life coaching, get all that you need, get us prepared for the wonderful things that are happening in life. Um, Dance instruction and fitness is going to be the next phase. And then third, just community, being able to have a well and healthy Black community.
Yes, ma'am. Always have to have some pillars and values upon which you stand.
Absolutely. Yeah. Soul Movement values, or our four values, is integrity, quality, community, and love. And I picked those because those are my my values,
Hmm.
as a professional, but also as a friend, as a confidant, as a partner, as a church member, as a sorority sister. Like those four pillars for me, or I'm sorry, those four values for me: integrity, quality, community, and love, is how I operate. And I hope to instill that and foster that within my company as well.
Yes, ma'am. And so has that influenced you for this next progression, visioning your victory?
Absolutely. Yes. Where do I begin? So, and I hope it's okay that I keep referencing God, because none of this would happen without the Most High. Um,
Speak on it.
So my coaching program is called Manifesting Your Abundant Life. And the first course, we're going to call that into existence, or right now experience, is Visioning Your Victory. And it really hones into community and love by having quality information that is shared, provided, all with integrity. So what does that mean, right? Community and love. I built the program out of love for myself and out of love for fellow Black women and women of color, because I feel that we are an elite people.
Say
And
that. Say that again.
and we need love. We need to be able to have the space to explore and express the love that we have for ourselves and for each other. So manifesting your abundant life really creates that space for women to be able to do that. And then community is us bridging the connections and the networking so we can not just lean on each other, but be able to hold each other accountable for all the things that we want to do for ourselves and for our community. So Visioning Your Victory really talks about the inward self connection and how you see yourself with your community, but also the outward projection of your gifts, your talents, your just overall, I call it the shine, but overall greatness, to be that you are going to share with the community. And then, of course, the way that I structure the program is through integrity. Everything that I share is either my own experience, or from my own experience, or from my research, because I love to research. So I myself have been a student for the past. Well, I've been a student my entire life, to be quite honest. But most specifically, just building this program, as I'm building it, I am the student as well, in educating myself in the different techniques and methods that can be used, that are creditable and that are proven to work. Because I don't want to put anything out there in my community or even for myself that's not proof that it works. And if anything, I've probably tried it. Most likely I tried it first, just to make sure it is proven before sharing it with others. And then lastly, just the quality. I'm all about quality of my work. Everything is decent and in order in everything that I do. So making sure, so just making sure that that's also being presented and helping other Black women and women of color understand the quality of themselves and how they exist in the world.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Decent and in order.
Decent and in order.
You got to follow these steps to get yourself together. And I love it. It's like, yes, you're coming from lived experience, but also continually being a student, as we all should.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's hard because, when you have a 9 to 5, a dog, family, friends, and you want to travel and do all the things, it's hard to be a student. But I wouldn't ask something of others that I wouldn't press upon myself. And I really, truly want to be the proof that it's all possible if you just do the self work, you take the time, and you give yourself a little bit of grace, or at least for me, a lot of bit of grace, because it's a wonderful thing to be able to do all of it and then accomplish it and share it with someone else,
yes,
even if
ma'am.
it's a little old me.
Yes, ma'am. See it, plan it, and do it, right?
See it, plan it, do it. Yes. Oh, and that's the theme around manifesting your abundant life. So right now I am building out Vision Your Victory around the see it portion.
Mm-hmm.
and being able to draft out what that for that first stage is, and seeing yourself and who you are and where your purpose is. And then being able to plan how to do that, because we all need strategy. And I come from a profession where that's all I do on a day to day is build out strategies. So you have to have a plan, you have to set those goals, and then doing the work and being supported in
Mm-hmm.
doing so. So I did write a book. It's an ebook. I have it online. It's called Manifesting Your Abundance for Women Transforming into Their Full Self-Worth. And it really gives very high level, like maybe 10, 15, 20,000 feet of what the see it, plan it, do it blueprint, that's what I call it, is, because I felt like I had to put something, what's the word? Put something in your hands, put something more tangible that folks can walk through the steps and see themselves,
Mm-hmm.
actually visualizing, but also doing the work that needs to be done to get to your full self-worth. So again, it's on my website. But it's one of my babies, I have to say, because I do share a lot of my personal experience in this
Mm-hmm.
ebook. Audible coming soon. And uh but at the same time, I feel like me sharing my story helps folks to understand that their story probably isn't much different. There's nothing more uh big or exciting about my story that allowed me to have all the opportunities I've been blessed with. And so I want other Black women and women of color to see that there's the only thing special is you. Like, you don't need anything extra to bring to the table to be able to build your table towards abundant life. So I hope
Yes,
everyone can
ma'am.
get the ebook. Let me know how you like it.
Yeah, and just, Shanice, it's been wonderful having you here with us. Thank you so much for joining us. Please tell the
Yes,
audience
no,
where
thank
they can
you.
find you.
Yeah, everywhere. I am everywhere. No. So you can find me online at soulmovementllc.com/abundant if you want to have more information about manifesting your abundant life coaching, as well as on social media. You can find me on Facebook at Soul Movement by Shanice, or Vision Your Victory if you want to just speak with me personally about all the things that you have planned for your life and get some inspirational tips along the way, while you move forward to just living your best life, because it's that season.
Thank you all out there for listening and supporting another season. This has been another episode of The Black Landscape, where Black excellence is always trending.